Watiki this weekend.
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WatikiWaterpark.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
At Connect Home Center, they've been a part of the Mead Lumber family since 2000. Now, they're bringing everything together under one trusted name, Mead Lumber. Don't worry, your favorite team, great service, and high-quality products aren't going anywhere. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name. From design to finish, here for you every step of the way. Check them out at meadlumber.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hawks 7 Eastern, Celtics and Sixers 8 Eastern, Nuggets and Timberwolves 9:30 Eastern time. Timberwolves guard Ayo Dosunmu considered questionable because of a sore right calf. Rockets forward Kevin Durant will reportedly miss Game 6 of their playoff series with the Lakers coming up Friday night in Houston. Amazon and Duke University have reached an agreement where 3 high-profile men's basketball games will air exclusively on Prime Video next season, including a matchup with defending national champion Michigan in late December at Madison Square Garden. Day baseball saw the Orioles top the Astros 10-3 in Game 1 of a doubleheader. Houston right now up 11-4 in the 7th in Game 2. Phillies took Game 1 of a doubleheader against the Giants 3-2. Kyle Schwarber a home run, and Schwarber's homered in Game 2. Phil's up 2-0 right now in the 2nd. Cardinals beat the Pirates 10-5. Tigers down the Braves 5-2. A's over the Royals 6-3. Brewers were at the Diamondbacks 13-1. And the Mets lose again 5-4 to the Nats. I'm Dan Byers.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show is live. South Dakota Sports Talk Show ready to go. It is always a great day in South Dakota. You bet. Thanks for checking in and making this show possible. We appreciate you guys a lot. Thursday edition of the program looks good. It is always a great day in South Dakota. We can say that, and we've got a great show lined up on a Thursday. Bring us up on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. You're listening right now on your drive home. Good stuff. Also here on Fox Sports Rapid City. A reminder, if you get out of radio range or radio cuts off, sometimes you get cut off. You want to go to YouTube, you can watch us live. We're on YouTube right now, so easy to get the show all the time. If you can't always check in on the radio, I remind you, YouTube channel, The Nate Brown Show, so you can get the show every night. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Also stream us on X if you want to listen to us and watch us live in studio. We are on X, at Nate Brown Show. Follow us, watch us live. At Nate Brown Show. And finally, Midwest Sports Plus, another new opportunity there with the high school sports streaming app, Midwest Sports Plus, home of the Nate Brown Show as well. So thanks for checking in. We appreciate you. Thursday's show looks really good. Got some great guests tonight. How about Mike Golick Jr.? There's some college sports stuff popping, so Mike's one of the best. I think he's really good. College football analyst, TNT Sports. Mike Golick Jr. joins us live tonight. Craig Maddock is in. We can't let go of this week without Craig Maddock coming on, SDPB Sports. We'll talk South Dakota sports, some Dakota relays going on. So good stuff. Craig Maddock's on the way, SDPB. And Brian Noe from Las Vegas, Fox Sports Radio's countdown host every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Countdown to kickoff, hosted by Brian Noe. And Brian pops in on the Nate Brown Show tonight. 3 great guests tonight, and then 1 great hour with Rob Kegron. Can you call it great? I've got some good things to discuss with Rob tonight. National radio host Rob Kegron, New York City's finest. He's in tonight for a full hour. Next hour on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We call it Thursday Happy Hour with Rob Kegron, and a lot to discuss. All right, get in on the show if you want. I appreciate you. 605-720-1067. You can yell at the clouds with me. 605-720-1067. We're not going to do that. It's a nice day in South Dakota. A little cool, a little springy. Not bad. We don't have to yell at the clouds, but we do have to get down to the nitty-gritty here. We got to get with it in 2026 and figure out what's going on. So you can join the conversation, 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch, our favorite buffet in town. Fried chicken, pizza. They'll make the buffet your way. The salad bar. It's all good at the Pizza Ranch, East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and in Brandon. Stop by this weekend. The Pizza Ranch, locally owned and operated in Brandon and East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Barron's Wilson text line as well is open, 605-720-1067. All right, you've got it. You've got the numbers. You can be a part of the program. You're there. And we're ready to go. Okay. So do you guys know I'm a Duke Blue Devils fan? I hope you do. I'm a Dookie. Maybe you listen to the show every day. Maybe you pop in every couple of weeks. But I'm a Duke Blue Devils fan. I go all the way back. Yes, Christian Laettner, Coach K, Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill. So I'm a Duke Blue Devils fan through and through. You could say that disqualifies me from being a good guy, but I'm gonna stick with Duke. Okay, so I'm a Duke Blue Devils fan. So this news that comes out today, I'm not just gonna talk Duke. I'm not gonna just talk Duke because you're listening to South Dakota Sports Talk Show, thinking, I don't want to hear about the Duke Blue Devils. I hate Duke. Oh, hang on. This is a big thing, and this is where sports are going, and this is why I'm going to have this discussion with you. And I'm going to have a question of the day, and I want to figure out where you guys are at. So Duke is going to enter into a first-ever partnership with streaming with Amazon Prime. So they're going to get 3 big games this next year only on Amazon Prime, an exclusive deal. Okay, and so you've heard me talk about what? Prime covering Thursday Night Football, and then we've talked about these guys are getting into more games. NBA has been on Prime all season, and then a lot of playoff games are on Prime, like the first 7 or 9 playoff games were on Prime only. And then you had a deal like last night where you had a game on ESPN and a game on Prime, and they were on at the same time. So this is where sports are going. I'm trying to be cool with it. And what does Matt Kearney tell me? It is what it is. The famous line. It is what it is. And so Duke's going to be in the Amazon Prime. 3 big games here. So forget about their traditional media partners and stuff like that. Forget about that. The Blue Devils are going to have UConn game in Vegas. That's a big game. That's a huge game. UConn Duke in Vegas in November, only on Prime. Duke Michigan in Madison Square Garden in December, only on Prime. And then Duke Gonzaga, neutral site game in Detroit, only on Prime. These are massive. These are absolutely huge, these neutral site games and huge non-conference slate. Duke's had some good non-conference games, man. And so they're going to take 3 of their games this next year. UConn, Michigan, the national champions, and Gonzaga. These are all premier programs playing Duke, and the only place you're going to get them is on Prime. And so here's what you're doing listening. I can hear you. I can see you. You may not think I can see. You're saying it's Prime. That's the way it's going. Well, hang on a second. This is going to happen every year now. So that was in the fine print. You got to look this up. Beginning with these 3 games this next year, Prime Video will exclusively present 3 Duke non-conference games per year. So they're going to go 3 Duke games per year. Now, there's some things you got to think about here. This is the first time a college program has done this. First time college sports has done this. We've done the NBA. We've done the NFL. And we've gone down the road. MLS on Apple TV, all that stuff. So I get it. Streaming is in there. I want to ask you, do you ever think you're going to have to be watching the March Madness tournament only on Prime? Are you going to be watching? These are the things we got to think about. Because everybody here in South Dakota, do a ton of people have Prime? I think so. I'd be curious. Like, I bet you people listening to the show right now, do you all have Prime? Probably not all of you. And I can't take a snapshot, but we've got great listeners. You guys are, so I bet you a ton of you have Prime, right? But I bet you there's some people that say, well, I don't have Prime. So what I'm telling you is, big tech, and we can argue about, hey, you just got to be up with the streaming. You got to get with it. You just have to stream stuff. Big tech with huge money. I mean, absolutely huge. This is now their opening to get in the house. They're on the doorstep. They weren't just outside your house. They were just knocking outside your house. Now it's a full home invasion. The big tech, so this is the way to do it, through my Dukies. Duke's like, hey, big brand. We want to be global, man. There's international stuff here. We can be on Prime. Well, of course Duke's going to take this. You'll see they didn't say how much this was. Like the pro leagues, we know how much that stuff is. There's all that reporting and all that stuff. Duke, like, they have these antitrust stuff where it's like, we don't have to tell you how much we're getting from Prime. We're going to put 3 games on every year. It's not a big deal. This is Big Tech's way of now getting into college sports. Do you think they don't want to buy the March Madness package? Of course they do. They want us to be streaming March Madness all the time, every year, and they want it to be exclusive. And so I just ask you that. Are we okay with Big Tech? They're not at the front door anymore. They're in the house. The call's coming from inside the house. and now you're going to have the streamers at the table for the college media rights. College football playoff expanding to 24. You know that the streamers are going to try and get in on this stuff. And I'm just telling you, traditional companies here, the ESPNs, the CBSs, the Foxes, can they keep up? Can they stay in this game? The NFL has said, we're going to keep all of our stuff on CBS and Fox too, and then we're going to pick and choose like Christmas and Thursday Night Football, that stuff. Maybe that's what college is going to do for now. For now. That's just going to be 3 Duke games. Yeah, they're 3 of the biggest games of the year. Michigan, Gonzaga, UConn, that's massive. And I'm just telling you, all I'm saying is I'm just sending out a little warning here. Yes, I can stream it. Yes, I have what you call DirecTV. So I've got DirecTV, and I pay for all this streaming stuff too. So yes, I can watch this stuff. But it's just a warning sign. When the big tech, does big tech make everything better? They've made some things better in our lives. Is big tech going to make watching sports better? This is what I'm asking you today. Just tell me honestly, is this going to make it better, or we're not so sure? Because the ESPNs, the Foxes, I've been really happy. The CBSs, really happy. I mean, these guys have been doing sports and producing sports and doing an unbelievable job for years. Just outstanding job. And now we just started this streaming stuff. Let's go back 10 years. We started the streaming stuff because it was cheaper. We cut the cord. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be great. And now you got to get 20 different things to make sure you have games here and there and everywhere. You got to get ESPN Unlimited now, right? You got to get that. Then you got to have the Fox thing. What's this? Fox and ESPN were trying to team up on something too. I mean, you were going to have to get that too. I'm just sounding the alarm bells. Just the alarm bells. I'm not the old man, but I am a guy that's saying this is just a big tech deal to get in. They're just getting in with Duke. That's not going to end here. That's what I'm telling you. This stuff isn't going to end here. And then it turns into what? A huge money game. And college sports needs what? Massive money. Massive amounts of money. And so I have a feeling they're going to start just taking the money. The college sports landscape, they're not going to care if their games are on traditional TV. They're not like the NFL. Yeah, we're building a brand, and we always want to keep them on TV, too, and we have the number one product in the world. College sports is going to say, who's paying the most? We need to pay all these people. Who's paying the most? And the big tech companies are going to control it. The big tech companies. By the way, I asked you if big tech, do they make things better? How about when you call people for help now on a helpline? Push 2. Dude. Incorrect. Push 2. I did. Okay, so this is the type of stuff. Just humor me on this. Big tech getting into college sports. I don't think it's just a one-off. They're going to have Duke games this year, and then every year, 3 Duke games, Prime Video only. By the way, I am curious, question of the day. Let's put that up tonight. Let's put it up on the Nate Brown Show. What do you pay for, and how do you watch sports in 2026? That's what I'd like to know. I just want to know where we're at. Does everybody have Prime? Everybody has Prime, so you're good. If Big Tech takes over the NCAA tournament, we're good with it. Not a problem. You've got good internet service across South Dakota. That's what I'd like to know. Okay, good internet, Prime. You've got all of that stuff. So how do you watch sports in 2026? What do you pay for? How do you watch sports? So here's what I'm looking at. I pay for DirecTV, and I pay for numerous streaming things. I couldn't even tell you. I don't even want to know. Maybe that's why I'm so mad tonight. But I couldn't even tell you. So I pay because I got to watch sports. I got to watch this stuff. So I have that all. Do you only pay for streaming? Do you just have various streaming services? Amazon, Netflix. Is that what you're doing? Are you one of those guys just only streaming? So maybe you're like a YouTube TV guy. So you're like, well, I'll do YouTube TV, and then, I'll do Prime and some of those too. That's still kind of, you're paying double. We're paying double. I'm having to pay double now. Or do you have a multiple TV setup as well? Are you one of those guys? I'm not. I'm a big sports guy, but I do not have the multiple TVs. I've seen some of you guys on social media. You've sent me pictures. It's like, hey, look at this setup. That's great. I've thought about it. Couldn't quite clear it. I couldn't quite set it up. So I got TVs upstairs, TVs downstairs. I don't do the multiple game experience. I go one game, and I like switching over to watch another game. So when there's a game on next year, I'm going to be watching Duke, right? That's my favorite team. Maybe there's somebody else I want to watch on November 25th. And then I have to switch in and out. I got to switch in and out. Let's see. I only have cable. Okay. What do you pay for, and how do you watch sports in 2026? Do you have the streaming? Do you pay for both the YouTube TV or a Midco or a Blue Peak, whatever it is, and the streaming? Do you have the multiple game setup? You tell me. Question of the day on the Nate Brown Show as we get started tonight. Curious about your setup viewing sports in 2026. I'm curious. Where do we stand? 47% of people have voted so far only streaming. They only stream now. 43% pay double a TV service and streaming. 10% do a multiple TV setup to watch games. 10% are cool. 10% of you guys are cool. Let's see. 605-720-1067. Listener text coming in. Cable back in the 70s was $5 to $10 a month. I've seen this before. It is what it is. No, it's not. It's not what it is. What it is going to be big tech takeover. We're going to be living with robots and trying to find out where to watch games. That's what we're going to have. Mike Golick Jr. is in next. College football analyst, TNT Sports, coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Sagging, bouncing, or uneven floors? Call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Standing water or high humidity? Nasty odors or dangerous mold? Call Blackburn. Critters, bugs, or other pests? That's right, call Blackburn. It's a fact. Crawl space problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Call Blackburn Foundation Repair today.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Highs around 56 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. 33 tonight. Highs level off around 62 tomorrow, mainly clear. Highs around 75 Saturday under clear skies. 66 Sunday, chance of thunderstorms. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 53 degrees.
Are you searching for a new vehicle? At Spearfish Motors, we have pre-owned vehicles in every price range, from budget-friendly to like-new luxury. We've got the selection you want and a price that can't be beat. Heavy-duty diesels, light-duty pickups, roomy family SUVs, and sporty sedans. All locally sourced and all priced below market. Click, call, or come by Spearfish Motors today or shop anytime at spearfishmotors.com.
It's pouring all summer long at Cadillac Jack's. It's the Make It Rain $125,000 downpour. Be here every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. till midnight for drawings every 30 minutes that start out at $300 and grow to $1,000 prize packages at 11, 11:30, and midnight. Then on Saturday, July 18th, 10 lucky winners will take home their share of $10,000 in cash and prizes at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your night play out?
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
Hey, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio across the state. We're on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and here on Fox Sports Rapid City. A reminder, this show is also streaming. I mean, we're up to speed, man. I mean, we're streaming just like all these big tech companies. We're on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. We're on X, @NateBrownShow. You can watch us live on your phone. It is absolutely excellent. See, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Amazon signed an exclusive media rights deal with Duke basketball. And we've got a deal with Midwest Sports Plus. It all works. It all works well. Okay, 605-720-1067 is our number. That's the Barron's Wilson text line. Be a part of the program. Brian Noe is on tap, Fox Sports Radio national host of Countdown to Kickoff. Brian Noe is in on a Thursday. Mike Golick Jr. moments away, I believe. Mike Golick Jr., hang on. And Craig Maddock in our lineup tonight from SDPB Sports. Thursday happy hours on tap with Rob Kegron. Rob Kegron coming in the second hour, national host of great show over the years, and Rob pops in on the Nate Brown Show coming up. I do have to go to the question of the day. Let's see what the answers are. Let's see what the answers are. I'm just asking you for your setup when it comes to watching sports in 2026. Your setup to watching sports in 2026. You pay for like double things, meaning TV. I don't care if that's satellite. Is there any satellite watchers left? I don't care if that's YouTube TV, whatever it is. You have all those TV services, and then you got the streamers, too. You got to get the Prime. You got to get the Netflix. You got to get all this other stuff. Peacock, right? I bought Peacock just to watch the NFL playoff game, and I still have it. So they get you. They get you on this thing. So that's our question of the day. What's your TV setup to watch sports in 2026? Streaming and a TV service? Only streaming. You just go separate. It says each streaming service, or you got that has the multiple TV setup. You got games. You got like 6 TVs. I got a buddy who has that. I go over and watch games with him. It's outstanding. It is outstanding. Mike Golick Jr. is on tonight. We've got him, college football analyst, TNT Sports. Find him on X at Mike Golick Jr., and he's in on the Nate Brown Show. Mike, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Nate?
Good, man. I appreciate you hopping in. Question of the day, if you can indulge me. What is the Mike Golick Jr. setup for watching and consuming sports? Are you multiple TV guy? Are you streaming guy? What are you?
I am right now single TV guy, although my gift to myself this year was the outdoor TV. So take advantage of living in Southern California and enjoy it outside. But
wow.
I am also streaming services. So I guess, whatever you consider YouTube TV, that's sort of my central hub. They've got the ability to do that multi-view screen, which is especially helpful for college football weekends, the NFL, all that stuff. So I do that off one stream, but I get the multi-box there, and then have to jump from streaming service to streaming service like every other sports fan right now, it seems.
Okay, so I have to ask you this. Last night, there was an NBA playoff game, and my producer, he gives me trash about this. He says I'm just old, I can't see ahead here, and he said you can get a switcher and you can do all this. So NBA playoff game last night was on ESPN. The other one was on Prime. So my setup is I've got a DirecTV deal, so I'm watching TV, and then I have to get into Prime to watch the other one. Is that a sports fan dilemma or not?
I think it is. I think it's an inconvenience more than a dilemma. Like, there are certain smart remotes, like mine, that has the Prime button already built in on it, so you can kind of toggle back and forth a little more easily. But there's no doubt it's just another step in the process, and that's what I think all of this boils down to is we've just added so many more layers and steps and logins to the experience of being a sports fan in 2026. I love watching college lacrosse, and I got to have like a Big Ten Plus subscription to watch it and make it happen. I got to have ESPN Unlimited to make it be able to watch it and happen. There's just so many added layers, costs, and dollars that go into being a sports fan, no matter what sport you consume now.
I bring this up because of the deal, first ever college partnership with Prime. Duke's going to put 3 massive games on this year, non-conference, neutral site. They're going to do 3 games every year now moving forward with Prime Video. What does this say here? Big streamer, Prime getting into college sports.
It says that Prime and Netflix and the rest of the big streamers have all realized that in a day and age where, and you see all of them, right, chasing content, you can throw Apple in there too, everyone's thrown tons of money at original content on their platform. We've seen great shows, but they understand that there's only so far that's going to go, that viewing habits have changed so much, and the only thing that is truly appointment viewing anymore is live sports. And so I'm sure with all of their money, might, and resources, they've now seen, all right, we got a blueprint for how to do this. Every one of the streamers kind of picked their sports that was the gateway to it, tried it out, see how they could do, make some tweaks, and now they're saying, all right, we're going to continue to go after this. As we know, sports rights come up all the time for college football. 2030, 2031 is going to be kind of that major crux. So everyone, I'm sure, is trying to get all their ducks in a row to try and continue to figure out how do we get a bigger piece of this pie for the one thing that, no matter how content changes, always is front and center for people.
Okay, do you see a time where big tech, these big streamers, make a play for exclusivity of college football playoff or March Madness?
I'm sure. I mean, again, it's, the one thing we know, if you're a sports fan, especially if you cover like the NFL and follow that, what do rich people like? More money and more control. So, yeah, I'm sure these giants of tech and industry that see how well this is going are going to say, all right, some is great, more is better. Why don't I try and go after all this? And at a time where college athletics, especially, if we want to focus in on that, are looking to get more and more capital in their pockets because the cost went up once players stopped going out here and playing for free, I'm sure they're going to be looking for every avenue and every bidder. And so if it does come a time where those groups have an opportunity to do it, I won't be surprised by anything anymore.
Mike Golic Jr. on tonight, college football analyst. Follow him on X. If you're not, great follow at Mike Golic Jr., part of the TNT Sports crew. So let's get into the speaking of March Madness, what do you think? 76 teams is being thrown out. I haven't gotten upset about it. I'm a big college basketball fan. I'll watch those games Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know exactly how that's going to work for our brackets per se. It'll be interesting. You either have to do the play-ins or you don't. There's going to be like 12 games. What do you think going to 76 ultimately?
Ultimately, I think the more I thought about it, it feels relatively harmless. Like, to your point, it's all baked into the plan, however much of that you want to consume. I generally tend to kind of shy away from the plan a little bit and just wait for the big one. But the big one is right, is how this fits into the bracket, because that's the most solvent piece of this, right? That's the part that most people participate in, most casual fans and casual eyeballs, which is what these big sporting events at their big time of year are angling more and more for nowadays. But in terms of how it affects it overall, like, yeah, are you going to let a few more, Power 4 conference teams in there? The Auburns of the world this past year that are 500 teams in big conferences who play a tough schedule, but in all actuality aren't that great. You're going to let a few more of them in, but people are always going to watch in volume at that time of year for this tournament in particular. So I don't think it changes a ton. I'm not going to get up in arms about it, even if I think it's probably a bit superfluous at this point.
Big 12 just announcing that they will give teams, through their capital partner, $30 million up front. You're going to have to pay that back over the years, 10% interest. They don't have to take it, but teams, programs can take it. What are you doing if you have a capital of $30 million coming in and you really need it right now?
I'm sure a lot of people are going to take it. And it's interesting, Matt Brown, who writes a great newsletter called Extra Points about the business of college athletics, wrote a while ago, and I thought was really important in this discussion, that it depends on what you're taking it for. Like, we hear overall the Big 12 is taking this with an idea that Redbird's going to come in and help them bring up other streams of revenue for the conference. So it won't just be straight up cash coming in. They're going to come in here and try and help them meaningfully change how they go and create revenue for the conference overall. But if you're doing it just to meet payroll, that's a bad reason to take on debt. And so I think each school is going to have that decision to make of how much they're able to do and what they would be putting that money to use for. Is it just to pay for NIL, to pay for these ever-increasing rosters, to try and keep up with the Joneses, because that could be a steady recipe for getting into a bad place? Or are other individual schools going to try and take that tact of, all right, we'll use this cash infusion, but we're going to try and have it, eye it towards scale, towards being able to bring more money in overall for our athletic department here. And it's going to be very interesting because the one thing that was made clear in all this isn't a private equity deal, right? Like Redbird's not coming in, getting a seat at the table or decision-making power. It just seems to be a loan repaid with interest. That doesn't seem like how these people usually work. Usually, they want a little more skin in the game than that. So I'm going to be very curious to see, in the nuts and bolts of this deal, is there any place where the folks giving these large sums of money can wield a bit more power? Because on the surface right now, the Big 12 has seemed to make it very clear that that's not the case. This is not a private equity deal. This is just a cash infusion for a conference and potentially schools that want to try and find ways to even more money.
Here's my concern. If I have a market that's going up and up and up, and it's costing me more and more and more, and then I got $30 million coming in, and I got to pay that back with interest, is it just too risky? I'm relying on a media rights deal, right? That's what they're thinking is, we'll get more money here in 5 years. So when we get that, then we'll pay you back. How risky is it of a team, of a school to take this?
Oh, it's incredibly risky. I mean, it's, it kind of sounds like, paying off one credit card with another, or a promise of a job that you don't yet have. And so it's all difficult. At the same time, we do understand college football probably in line for a big payday. These conferences and TV deals that we mentioned all come up around the same time when the money that we mentioned before is angling more into this than ever before. It's probably a safe-ish bet that a lot of these conferences and big-time schools are going to see a pretty major financial windfall when the bidding comes up for a lot of these. But there's no doubt it is always still a gamble. And so, again, it's going to be on each school because, like you said, the fine print is you don't have to use this. And so if you're going to use this, you better have a really good plan for how each dollar is going to go into action because you're right, that 10% is not nothing. $30 million is not nothing, even if we see, hey, that might just be 1 year's football budget at this point. You got to have a plan for not only where is the repayment of that going to come from, but how are you going to make the extra that really justifies going down that road to begin with?
Big 12 partnering with Redbird Capital, and they're giving each school the opportunity to get $30 million in capital, but it has to be paid back, and it's at 10% interest. Mike Golick Jr. on tonight. Last one, Mike. So I want your take on this as a college athlete back in the day. Iowa State Athletic Director Jamie Pollard was talking about kids that transfer. And he was saying, Iowa State, we've lost some good kids and stuff. When they leave, you're never going to have your jersey in the rafters. You're not going to be in our Hall of Fame. He said that seems like that mattered to back in the day. He thinks, maybe that doesn't matter anymore. Does it?
I think case-by-case basis, right? Like, for some people in the position that they're in life, the money now might matter more. It might have a bigger impact. The jersey in the rafter is a fine thing to think if you come from a background where money hasn't been something that's held you or your family back. But if you come from a background where you've never had anything and having something now could help not only you but a lot of people, you bump that jersey in the rafter. I need cash now to help make my life and my family's life a whole heck of a lot better. But no, those things always should matter in the big sense for college athletics. It's what makes it special. But, I look at this the other way. I was thinking about this last week, watching some stuff that went back on at Notre Dame where we talk about the transfer portal and the lack of relationship with, players and their programs. There was a concert back at Notre Dame this past weekend, and they brought a bunch of former players out on stage. And one of those guys was Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman, who famously spent 5 years at Wake Forest, his last year in college at Notre Dame, and is welcomed back around there like a conquering hero. In very short time, a guy like him, a guy like Riley Leonard, who transferred in for 1 year and led Notre Dame to a national championship appearance, was also on stage with Sam Hartman. Like, these guys, in a very short amount of time, because they embraced the place, because they accomplished at a high level at that place, do have a standing there that's going to last beyond just that 1 year on campus. And so it's a different version of the conversation that you're having there. But one that I think is still important is that the relationship building is possible. It requires a little more effort in the interim, and certainly being successful always trumps everything. But there are versions of this that aren't as big and scary and life-threatening as we've seen in some other instances. I know that doesn't necessarily work for everyone, and Iowa State's in a different tax bracket than a school like Notre Dame that's not going to lose as many, and we'll have more people stick around. But just seeing that was kind of a reminder of like, okay, there are parts of this that are certainly different than usual, but it's not altogether broken.
Good stuff tonight, getting us started in South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio. It's Mike Golick Jr. on the Nate Brown Show across the state. Mike, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nate.
Appreciate it. Mike Golick Jr., TNT Sports, college football analyst and great talk show host over the years. Mike Golick Jr. is on tonight here on the Nate Brown Show. Interesting thoughts from him on streaming, and he's a one TV guy. A one TV guy. That's me. Why do I get ridiculed for being a one TV guy? When I'm watching a game, I'm dialed in. I am dialed in. So I'm not a multiple TV, guy. I'm not a multiple view guy. I'm not that. I'm a one TV guy. Mike Golick Jr., one TV guy. And for the first time ever, he's going outdoor TV guy. He said he's in California, one outdoor TV guy. Careful with that in South Dakota. Brian Noe is on next. Fox Sports Radio, national host on the Nate Brown Show. Brian hosts Countdown, and he's coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we handle everything from start to finish and beyond. We're your full-service custom replacement solution. Buy one Acclaim replacement window or ensemble entry door and get the second 40% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Thanks for being a part of the program each day, making this show possible on South Dakota's Fox Sports Radio affiliates. We're on KWSN, Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show with Mike Golick Jr. moments ago. Our question of the day, what is your sports TV setup in 2026? You paying for double? You paying for triple? I got TV. I got streamers. I mean, I'm one of those guys. I'm not a multiple TV guy. It's not like I have, just one, but one upstairs, one downstairs, one in the room. And we have multiple, but I'm not gonna watch multiple games at once unless I'm in a sports book. I love the sports book feel of that. Not at my house, okay? Mike Golick Jr. is a one TV viewing guy. We're going to ask our next guest. He is Brian Noe, one of the best sports guys in the country. He hosts Countdown on Fox Sports Radio. Brian, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Nate Brown. I like what you're talking about here. A little TV viewing action. Very good.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, the reason I'm putting this out there, so Duke just signed a deal with Amazon Prime, first of its kind, college sports now getting in with the streamers. And I said, they're no longer at the front step. They're in the house. Big Tech is in the house. So they're going with Duke. And so now I said, now I'm going to have Duke games on Prime next year. So I'm asking the audience, what is the sports TV setup? Are you paying for TV and all the streamers? Where is Brian Noe at?
Well, I'm crazy, Nate, because I move around all the time, So the first part of this equation is wherever I'm renting from. For years now, I will rent a furnished place,
Okay.
And so it depends on what they've got going on. Some places have Roku, other places have YouTube TV, other places have cable. So that's the first part of the equation is what is their setup like? And then I just go from there. I've got NFL Plus, so I'm streaming whatever I need to. I definitely have the NBA package. I have NFL Sunday Ticket. So I have a lot of streaming things that I need to have. But I don't have baseball this year. I'm not streaming anything. I haven't been streaming any of the regular season Prime stuff, but obviously had to crank that up for the playoffs. So it's a mixed bag for me, really. But yeah, if NFL, that's the one thing, man. I've got every TV, every computer, every tablet. If there are 8 games on, I've got 8 games in front of me. If there are 9 games on, I've got 9 games in front of me. I will have every NFL game on in front of me. Best believe that will happen.
Okay, I have not hit that mark. I'm just a one-game viewer. I mean, am I a dinosaur? I'm a one-game viewer. I'm dialed in on that game, and then I'll flip over to the other games. But I'm a one-game viewer. I'm dialed in.
I don't know if you're a velociraptor or a T-Rex. I don't know which type of dinosaur you are, but you're absolutely a dinosaur,
What?
Nate.
What?
Yeah, you're prehistoric over here. You gotta get with the times. There's nothing wrong with locking in on one game, but it's crazy to me just to have one screen on one. You could have 3 games going on, and you just pick one, and you're locked in on that. You don't glance over every now and then at the other, like a commercial. You don't glance at nothing. Just one game the whole time, huh?
Well, I do pop out, and that's my problem that people are, arguing with me about. NBA last night was on ESPN and Prime at the same time, so I had to pop in and pop out from my DirecTV to my Prime. I know it's not the end of the world, but I'm asking this because what if Prime, here's what I think, Brian. They have a deal with Duke, so they're going to have 3 massive games on. UConn, Michigan, Gonzaga. Exclusive rights from Prime this next year. I believe Prime and Big Tech, whoever it is, Netflix, whoever these guys, they're going to make bids in 4 or 5 years for March Madness, for the whole thing. Is that a problem?
I don't like it myself, Nate. The one thing about streaming, and this is where I'll kind of join you as a dinosaur, right? The one thing about streaming that I dislike, 2 things that I greatly dislike. I hate when you have to stream on your TV. I hate that because it's just not convenient at all. I might not flip, during a game. I might not flip at all, but I can. I have the option to if it's on cable, if it's on normal TV. I don't have that option when it's on Prime. It's a disaster to get out of Prime, flip to the cable, go back to Prime. You just can't.
Yes.
It's not an option. So I hate the lack of being able to flip. It's an unflippable type platform. I hate that. The other thing I hate is that the fun of viewing sports is that we watch a game in our own way, and then we have all of our different opinions and vantage points, and we compare notes. So it stinks that there's a portion of that pie that they're not watching these games. They don't have the same access. They're not going to pay for this platform or that platform, or I'm just going to miss every game on Prime. And it's like, well, I just watched a 2.5-hour NBA game. I've got a million thoughts on it, and so half my audience didn't even watch it. So I hate that aspect of it, where I just wish we were on the same page. And if it's an NFL game on CBS or Fox, you're watching it, and then we could just share our opinions and talk it out. But if we're not even watching these games, that makes it completely challenging.
I just had a listener text in and say he is not paying for all the streaming, all the different services, so he is not watching some of those games. I mean, he just said, I'm just not going to play that game. Do you agree with me at all, or is that just me hitting the alarm that these big tech companies, now that they're in with Duke, I mean, this is just opening the door. I think they're going to give a bunch of money to try and get these massive things, college football playoff, March Madness. They're going to have all this money, and what does college sports want more than anything is money. Yeah. Do you think they're going to make a play?
Absolutely, I do. And it's probably, I hate to even say this out loud, it's probably just a matter of time until they land a big, huge contract. I don't know what it'll be. I don't know if it'll be, the Super Bowl, you got to stream it, March Madness, something. They're going to get something of great consequence, because I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, Nate. I do. I think that we're just going to keep heading down this road. And these companies, think about the NBA. Remember TNT was like, whoa, we've got it in our contract. We can extend our agreement with the NBA. And the NBA was like, yeah, no, we're moving on with Prime. They were just like, yeah, no, we don't care what the contract says. We're moving on with Prime. And it just went away. I would imagine, I don't know this, but I would guess that the NBA made it worth TNT's while to go away into the night quietly or quieter, But the point is, the NBA wanted to have a relationship with Amazon Prime Video, and they made that happen. So, I think that, if you're Netflix, if you're Prime, they're just going to try to get more. And, I think they've got the deep pockets to get it done. It does remind me, remember way back in the day, Nate, where there used to be, when ESPN2 was just this fledgling network, they would sometimes put big games on the Deuce. And it's like, oh, shoot, I don't get that. I'm not going to see North Carolina and Duke. I'm going to miss that game. There were some big games that you missed. And I think this is just the next iteration of that. People aren't going to pay for every streaming platform. They're just going to miss some games. And that's just the way it's going to be right now. And it sucks. I don't like that at all.
Brian Noe joining us from Fox Sports Radio. His show is Countdown on the weekends. He's on X at The Noe Show. Speaking of March Madness, I'll ask you this. 76 teams is going to be the number. People have kind of flipped out. I'm not one of them, Brian. I'm like, I don't think we needed it, but I'm not going to say it's like the worst thing ever, because I just looked through it. I said, NBA did extra play-in, NFL, wild card, Major League Baseball, wild card. Everybody's expanded, and the NCAA tournament says we're going to do 8 more teams. What do you say?
I hate it. I mean, listen, I'm not going to go kicking and screaming into the night, Nate, because I'm going to watch those games. And I might even bet on them too, Nate. Who knows? Maybe a little parlay action. I don't know. But I'm going to watch them. But here's what I don't like about it. I don't like that you're rewarding mediocrity. I just don't like that. I'm not a fan of it. If you look at the March Madness is one of the best things we have going. the bracket is amazing. It doesn't need to be screwed with. And now you're going to allow these teams that, there's nothing wrong with trimming a little fat, Nate. This is an exclusive club to get into March Madness. And now we're rewarding it's just like orange slices for everybody now. I don't like that at all. You're getting, C- students in there, and you're like dressing them up as if they're A students. I don't like that. And the big part that I don't like, Nate, is you're giving me even more incentive to not pay attention to your sport when football is on. Half your season is when football is being played. Why are you watering it down even more? I wish they would go the other way and not necessarily trim the fat. If they went back to 64, I'd be like, nice, good. And if they're like, you know what, first 2 rounds, home arenas. So that matters. You're making the regular season matter more. You're giving me incentive to pay attention. But the way they're doing it, you're giving me more reason to not pay attention. Why would you do it? It's just a money grab.
By the way,
that's what I hate, man.
I know you are a college basketball fan, so I did want your take on that. You've been to college basketball games this past year. So that's interesting. You say you don't like it. You would rather. So how are you going to fill out your bracket quickly? I mean, are you going to have to, if we go 76, that means you're going to have to fill it out before Tuesday, or are you just going to still wait till Thursday? That's going to be 12 games you're going to miss.
I will only enter bracket challenges that Thursday is the deadline. On principle. I will not fill out my Tuesday or Wednesday portion. I won't do it. I'm racing against the machine, Nate.
Good luck. Brian Noe is on Fox Sports Radio. Appreciate you, man. Great stuff. Thanks a lot.
All right, Nate Brown, you have a good night, buddy.
See you. Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio Live. His show is Countdown on Fox Sports Radio, Saturday and Sunday right here. No, I am serious about that now. Like the first 4, I never filled out the bracket, right? So you never fill out your bracket on the first 4. Nobody cared. So you just kind of pretended that you just started with the Thursday. There was only 4 games. Now there's going to be 12. There's going to be 12 games. When are we going to fill out these brackets? Man, they know how to screw things up now. Anyway, I'm okay. It's fine. Listener text coming in. Another reason I don't like streaming. This is a listener text. Listener text. Another reason I don't like streaming is you can't record games. You just have to watch them and go with the flow. I like recording games so I can watch them later. Huh? DVR? Oh, what's that? Craig Maddox in tonight. SDPB Sports. East River meets West River next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share. To revel. To stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number 1. So you can always be their number 1. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number 1 hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we handle everything from start to finish and beyond. We are your full-service custom replacement solution. Buy one Acclaim replacement window or ensemble entry door and get the second 40% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
River. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show on tonight, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're a part of the program today. Thanks for making us part of your day. We appreciate it. Thursday happy hours on tap. Hang on. Rob Kagron's ready to go. What's Rob going to say tonight? You never know. I've got some tough questions for Rob tonight. Rob Kagron, our guest host in the second hour. Coming up Thursday happy hour with national radio host Rob Kagron here on the Nate Brown Show. If you can't catch all of the show on Fox Sports Radio, our affiliates, KWSN and Fox Sports Rapid City, bring us up on X at Nate Brown Show. Every show, full shows are there on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow us and YouTube channel, The Nate Brown Show. Bring us up right there. Let's go to Craig Maddock, SDPB Sports. He is in East River meets West River. Craig, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's great talking to one of the busiest men in broadcasting.
Oh, who's that? Okay, we're ready to rock and roll tonight. Hey, I want to get your take on a couple of things here. First, you're older than me. I can say that on the air. It's okay. Don't worry. You're older than me. So I'm getting accused of being an old guy. I'm an old guy. They're saying I'm an old man yelling at the clouds about watching sports and streaming and TV and everything. How has Craig Maddock managed to watch sports? Are you just still a TV guy? Are you a streaming guy? Do you have all these services? Where is Craig Maddock at?
I will, besides going to the events, I go to a lot of events live, but, I'll catch some TV. The streaming thing, when it comes to high schools, high schools are pretty much streaming everything they do now. Some are making you pay for it. Others have that free stream, and so you can watch a lot of that. I do a lot of that when it comes to the playoffs because you can't be everywhere. But that's part of my job. But I think for the most part, I certainly love going to Vikings games and high school games, and that hasn't changed a lot over the last several years.
Okay, so if you end up having March Madness, I'm asking you this because Duke just signed a deal with Prime Video. So they're going to have 3 games on Prime, huge games next year, and I'm a Duke fan. So I have Prime, of course, but If Prime bids and gets the entire March Madness tournament, Prime, the streamer, what do you say? Okay or not okay?
Well, I was going to mention that I am not much into paying for streams.
Oh.
I'm not quite there yet because there's so many of them. It'd have to be. I mean, if I was a Dookie and I love Duke and all I wanted was Duke, then I probably would pay for it. It's like, I'm a Vikings season ticket holder. If I didn't like the Vikings, I wouldn't buy the tickets maybe. But how many are you going to buy? I mean, whether it's newspapers or this website, that website, this internet thing. I mean, you could spend a lot of money, and I think a lot of people are not going that route. They're pretty tough when it says, I'm going to pay for that stream to watch that team.
Okay, so I just had a listener text in. He said, I have rabbit ears and I have internet. I'm not going to buy all of these streamers. I'm not going to.
I agree. There's a lot of people, like the state of Minnesota. You have to pay to see their state tournament games, whether it's football or basketball or hockey. You have to pay a fee to watch those events. Where they've talked about it here in South Dakota, there's people that have gone to SDPB and said, hey, are you guys going to be forcing us to pay to see these state tournament games? And I sure hope they don't do that down the road, because I still believe the vast majority of people are not willing to pay to see a broadcast.
Craig Maddox on tonight from SDPB Sports. I want to get into a youth sports survey that was just done. This is by Aspen Institute. Almost 4,000 kids were surveyed from 10 to 17 years old. Here's some highlights. One highlight, I don't know if it's a good highlight. Kids' average age of quitting organized sports, 13. Is that fair? Is that too young? Mm-hmm. What do you say? 13, they're out.
I would say that's about right, because I am seeing, like right now this time of the year, it's baseball. All I see is these young kids in baseball. They're in club baseball. They're traveling every weekend. Some were in Omaha last week. Some were in Des Moines last week. They're going to be traveling here. Some have already got 15 to 20 high school games in. And I'm talking kids who haven't, they're still in elementary school. So it doesn't surprise me if they continue to do that. Burnout factor can get there by the age of 13. Of course, some of those kids, they love the sport, they're going to stay with it, but some of it's mom and dad making sure that, they're on a club team and they're out there getting their job done.
One other highlight, this is interesting, Craig, so listen up. You were a soccer parent, I do believe, and I am a soccer parent. Survey finds soccer players reported the highest rates of their parents getting upset about their performance. Soccer parents getting the most upset. Are you buying it?
Apparently they haven't been to a high school basketball game in a while.
Okay. So
one of these days there, Mr. Brown, just pick an auditorium in your local neighborhood. It can be Rapid City or Sturgis or Douglas or Hill City, whatever, and I'll do it here, East River. I'll pick either Del Rapids or T, or I'll go down to Dakota Valley somewhere, and you just go there and just listen to what's happening. Go ahead and sit in the top row or the bottom row. You just listen to what's going on during a basketball game. I think if you listen to what's going on, you're going to go, man, what is going on? And it's amazing that the Activities Association has listed among their top priorities dealing with parents at sports in South Dakota. It's like, really? That's pretty sad.
I did see that. And by the way, I have listened to that at basketball games as well. Everybody take note. This survey, basketball fans were also in that list, but they were behind soccer parents getting upset with their kids. Last one. This is NCAA tournament. Could go to 76 teams. Now, hang on here. if South Dakota State wins, USD wins, let's just say that, men's tournament, if they win the Summit League, they usually go in a low seed. This format would look like they would play a like opponent in more of an opening round situation, like a 15 seed playing another 15 seed to get into Thursday. And if you win, you get money for your conference. Should Jacks fans and Yotes fans say, okay, I guess this will work. I'll go to 76 teams and play in an opening round game?
Yeah, don't get too excited over making a bunch of money, because the only way you make a bunch of money is if you're going to the Elite Eight and the Final Four. I am totally against adding teams.
You are.
All it's doing, totally, because I can't wait for those 17 and 16 record teams getting into the so-called tournament and going up against a much highly financed other basketball team and not going anywhere. I mean, it's, you know what, we're diluting the pot is what we're doing.
All right. I found another guy who's against it. I'm not like for it, but I'm not totally against it.
It means they'll just play more games on the Tuesday before the tournament gets going. It's like, you know, do I sit down and watch the first four live from Dayton, Ohio every year? No, it does not interest me whatsoever. Okay. Would it interest me if SDSU was in it?
Yeah.
Or USD was in it? Well, probably, but otherwise I could care less.
See, now you just said it, and the Jackson
Get off my yard.
They might be in this opening round. Craig Maddock is on tonight. It is springtime. SDPB Sports, his podcast is in play. Craig, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
All right, Nate. Always great talking with you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. Craig Maddock from Sioux Falls, South Dakota Public Broadcasting, longtime Sioux Falls broadcaster. East River meets West River every week on the Nate Brown Show. And we meet up with Rob Kagron every Thursday. We call it Thursday Happy Hour, a full 45 minutes at least with Rob Kagron. He's coming in next. A lot to discuss, including some tough questions for Rob tonight. Hang on.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
If your bun falls apart halfway through your burger, it's not the right bun. If it tastes bland and blah, also definitely not the right bun. Turns out the right bun isn't called a bun at all, but a roll. Artisan Hearth brioche rolls, to be exact. Soft, fresh, dependable, and oh, so good. Basically, the +1 you want at every cookout. Artisan Hearth rolls, because sometimes a bun isn't enough.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
You'll find the best used cars and trucks at the place that sells the best new cars and trucks, and that's Denny Menlo Toyota. Shop over 300 used cars, trucks, and sport utilities available, including the area's best selection of used Toyotas. Buy select Toyota certified pre-owned with financing as low as 4.75% APR for up to 60 months, including RAV4s. See us at Denny Menlo Toyota or DennyMenloToyota.com. 1876 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down with qualified credit, expires 5/4/26.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields. We're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
All right, we're talking with Britt Wicked at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Right now, it's baseball season, and one thing I know with baseball, I hear about this overused shoulder injury.
It's something that we see a lot clinically. Repetitive motions place ourselves at an increased risk for sustaining an injury, especially if it's a movement that hasn't necessarily been done a lot previously.
And one thing, some people say, well, you just have to rest, but not all the time.
Yeah, so it's good to take a break in a sense. But that doesn't necessarily mean do nothing at all. If you're experiencing symptoms like that and having soreness with throwing in particular, that's a good time to be seen by a physical therapist to try to assess the root cause of your symptoms. You could have weakness in the rotator cuff. We could have some shoulder instability. There's a lot going on with throwing, so it's important to have that thoroughly assessed to get you back on the road to recovery.
Get started at elevateperformancesd.com.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Glad you're here. We appreciate you making us part of your day. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on a Thursday on Fox Sports Radio, KWSN Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. It is Thursday Happy Hour. It's with Rob Kagron. He's live in studio, ready to go, and a lot to discuss tonight. The Nate Brown Show, powered by Black Hills Federal Credit Union. When it comes to the best rates, that's really what what matters a lot. Trying to save money, they've got great competitive rates on vehicle loans, personal, business. Also, my bank for just all of my family's needs. Go to bhfcu.com. 18 locations from the Black Hills to Sioux Falls. Become a member and experience the benefits of Black Hills Federal Credit Union. Again, get started, bhfcu.com. My family's banking partner. Glad I made the switch. Rob Kagron is in. Now, I've got some things for you. I've got some tough stuff tonight. Not right out of the gate. I'm going to take it easy on the right out of the gate, and then I'm going to get it into your New York Giants. I know people are just waiting for me to talk about the New York Giants, but we got some problems. I mean, you guys already have some problems, so I'm going to dig into that. First, let's go to this NCAA tournament expansion. It's been the story of the week. I've said I'm not having a conniption fit over it. I like college basketball, so I'm going to watch the games. They're going to add 12 games is what they're looking at. So they would take out of Thursday. They would add some games Tuesday, Wednesday, because you would have 15 seeds playing each other. You follow this?
Yeah, but that's not the way I understood it. I understood it that they were going to play 12 games to basically get into the tournament, but there'd still be 16 games on Thursday and 16 games on Friday.
Well, so you got to win Tuesday, yes, Wednesday, and then to get into the Thursday. So
correct.
If I'm the Jacks, if I'm South Dakota State, I win the Summit League, I get a 15. Well, I might have to play somebody, a like opponent, to get that actual spot for Thursday's matchup.
Correct.
So if you're looking at it from our perspective, USD South Dakota State men's tournament, they haven't won an opening round game. I said, and it's just going to get a bigger disparity. There's no Mike Dom, Nate Walters walking through, and the NIL is just going to be a huge disparity. So you're not going to win an opening round game when you're a 14, 15, 16. So wouldn't you want to maybe think about, hey, if we win Tuesday, that's money. We win a tournament game. Now we get to play Thursday. Is that good for the Jacks and the Yotes? Is that a good thing to go to 76?
No, I don't think it's good for anyone. I don't think it's good for the little guy. And I get your point. It is money, right? So if there is a silver lining to this plan, it is that the little guy has an opportunity to win an NCAA tournament game. But you and I are purists. That is not winning an NCAA tournament game. I'm sorry. You're a 15 seed.
You're not going to give them credit?
No.
The tournament starts Tuesday.
You're winning a play. No, it doesn't.
It starts Tuesday.
The tournament until the day I die will start on Thursday. I don't care how this is. There's no way. 15s. If you're a 15 seed and you want to win an NCAA tournament game, do you know what you have to do? You have to beat a 2 seed.
Oh, you do?
That's the only way it works. It's worked like that for a very long time.
It doesn't work that way anymore.
Well, it doesn't work that way for 4 16 seeds. It doesn't work that way for usually 11 seeds or 12 seeds.
You're not going to win these games on Thursday anymore, so why not add some competitive games Tuesday and Wednesday? Add some competitive games. I don't know, South Dakota State could play, I don't know, whoever, Tulsa or Belmont. You could see South Dakota State against Belmont. Wouldn't that be okay?
But if you're a Jacks fan or a Yotes fan, and your team gets in, and they are the 15 seed, and they have to go play, some Prairie View A&M, right? Something like that.
Yep.
Are you sitting there on the Tuesday night or the Wednesday night saying, this is our NCAA tournament game?
Absolutely you are.
No,
yes,
you're not.
You are dialed
this
in on that.
This is a play-in game.
You are dialed in on that Tuesday night. You absolutely are. And the Jacks and the Yotes, if they get in, you better believe we will be all over that, and you know that.
You'll be all over watching the game and rooting for your team. Of course you would, as any fan of any university would. But are you really, if you're a sports fan, do you really think that you've now won an NCAA tournament game? You can't possibly think that.
Yes,
you
because
can't.
my bank account at the Summit League also says we won it because they just gave us a unit. They gave us a unit.
But it's a sports fan, from a sports fan's mentality. If you are a 15 seed, beating another 15 to have the opportunity to go play a 2 is not the idea of the tournament. This is all completely rigged so that we have more teams in, and folks, not more SDSUs in.
Correct.
More Auburns.
Yes.
And Indianas and Oklahomas, all teams that this past season in their respective conferences played under 500 basketball. And now we're going to put them into the tournament because we want to expand it to 76.
Hang on a second. You just said those first games aren't going to be part of the tournament. So you can't say how they're going to break it down is they're going to do 12 automatic qualifiers. This is the initial plan. 12 automatic qualifiers that are lowest ranked. So that'd be the Jacks or the Yotes, whoever, and all those others. Then the other 12 will be the Seton Halls, the Auburn, some of your bad Big East teams that think they're good, then they're going to be able to get in there too. And so the 12 are going to play, the big guys, they're going to play each other, and then the small guys are going to play. You can't say one's not a tournament and the other one is a tournament.
None of them are tournament. None of them are wins in the tournament. You don't win the tournament until the tournament actually begins, which is on Thursday around 10 a.m. Rapid City time.
I didn't think you would be the old guy yelling at the clouds already.
Of course you did.
But you said the tournament doesn't start till Thursday. They're going to tell you it starts Tuesday.
How about these teams that for the last number of years, there have been 4 16 seeds that have to play, right? They play the early game on Tuesday, the early game on Wednesday.
I don't love those.
Of course you don't love them. Now you're going to add more of those kind of teams. But my point is, those teams had to go through the gauntlet of their individual conference during the regular season, and then they had to go through which is even tougher, they have to go through the gauntlet of their conference tournament, right? Knowing that only one team is going to come out of those conferences. The reward they get. Now there was 4 that get this penalty this reward.
I know what the reward is. It's
now
a
there's
winnable
12 of them.
game. A winnable game.
But it's not the tournament. You don't feel like you're in the tournament when you're in Dayton, Ohio on Tuesday evening. You don't. I'm sorry. As someone who's been to tournament games, and you have been to them as well, that is not the tournament. The tournament begins when there are 4 games in consecutive fashion in 8 different sites over 2 different days. That is the NCAA tournament. That is what March Madness is. I'm telling you right now, when they play One Shining Moment, which you and I both love on the last night of the tournament after the championship, here's what they don't show. They don't show 16 versus 16 in Dayton.
They might.
They don't. Unless they beat the 1 seed 2 days later. They don't show that because that's not... It's a play-in to get into the tournament.
I can picture it now. The ball is tipped, and it's going to be the Jacks center. He tips it on a Tuesday night. The ball is tipped. That's going to be One Shining Moment. By the way, you got to realize this is about, we're going to get a little money. That matters, so you can have a winnable game. The Big Sky Conference Commissioner, don't listen to me, the Big Sky Commissioner, that's Montana State, he said, I am for expanding the tournament. My men's basketball champion would have a 50-50 shot of winning and making money for the conference. He's the commissioner of the conference, but he said, I am for expanding it. The mid-majors, he's for it.
I get the money part, but that's the only advantage. No extra mid-majors are getting into the tournament because of this, right? The Big Sky, in a year where, let's just say, for the sake of argument, Montana State are head and shoulders above the rest of the teams in the Big Sky, and one of them makes it and one of them doesn't, they're not going to bring the other one in. Well,
no, they aren't.
They're not, right? So no extra mid-majors will get in. I get your financial benefit. I get that it can have the benefit to the program, the individual programs, of having some extra resources to use on their program. I understand that. You didn't win an NCAA tournament game, though. You were gifted the money by winning a play-in game. I'm sorry.
I can't
Your
believe
record
it.
would still be 0 and whatever.
I'd like to make the announcement for Rob Kagron himself. So next year, when we start the tournament on Tuesday, he's still going to be waiting for this show, Thursday Happy Hour, to fill out your bracket. You're not going to have it filled out by today. You're going to be waiting, and there's going to be 12 games that have already been played, and you're going to be asleep.
No one is. That's not going to be part of the bracket.
It is.
Wait a minute.
It better be.
The first 4 has been part of anyone's normal bracket over the last number of years.
I've seen them. They're in there.
No,
you got to fill out. You say, here's who's going to win.
You don't get credit for that at all. No.
Yeah, you get credit.
No.
First 12. You better put them in there. You can't have 12 games not be a part of the tournament.
They're not part of the tournament. They're playing games to be in the tournament. They are a separate bracket. Right? There's not one. They are a different bracket that flows into the main bracket.
It's a separate tournament. What are they going to call it? The Rob Kagron Invitational?
They call it Losers Bracket. That's what they call it. Teams that didn't get into the 64. That's
Careful.
You don't want to hear it. I'm going to tell you what I you know. How many years I've been doing this with you now? You think I'm not going to say what I think?
And next year, when the Jacks or Yotes are in it and they win the Summit League, I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to say, get ready. It's the Jacks against Prairie View A&M, and it is a part of the tournament.
You want to play a
Believe
game.
it. Coming right back, I thought Rob wouldn't get that fired up, but I'm going to get him more fired up about his New York Giants because they've got problems next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share. To revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we handle everything from start to finish and beyond. We're your full-service custom replacement solution. Buy one Acclaim replacement window or ensemble entry door and get the second 40% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
Sports News. This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show live tonight. Lively Thursday happy hour so far. Thanks for being a part of it. Rob Kegron's in. It is the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Radio. Got a listener text coming up saying, hey, can you guys discuss Live Golf and where that's at? Hey, that's on the agenda. It's on the agenda. It's going to be last on the agenda, but it is on the agenda. Kind of like where they're at, kind of last. But we'll get into that. I do want to get into some listener texts that have come in. Rob thinks the 76 tournament, 76 teams for the NCAA tournament's a joke. You said it's one of the worst things the NCAA has done?
Absolutely.
That's what you said during the break. I couldn't believe it. I mean, forget about the transfer portal and the NIL and all the mess, and you think this is bad?
What's next? After 76, we go to 84, the 96. I mean, might as well just play for weeks at a time. You know, play for 6 weeks after the.
Look at it this way: college football is going to double their teams. We started at 4. They went to 12. They're going to go to 24. They're going to double it. All we've done, we're not going to 128. We're going to 76. So it's not that big a deal.
But 64 was enough. Did anybody feel like 64 wasn't enough teams to really figure out who's the best team in college basketball? Did anybody, oh my gosh, if it just feels like we just don't have enough, and if we had a couple more, they'd have a real chance. As if teams 65 through 76 have any chance to win the NCAA tournament.
Okay, this is fun. I'm okay with it. I didn't ask for it, but I'm okay with it, and I like more college basketball, so I'm going to be in on that. 76 teams starting this next year. Let's go to the New York Giants. Somehow, some way, they're making headlines, and it's because of what I told Rob a while ago. I don't think they have great leaders. I don't think your football team is in great shape. I think one of your top guys, you keep telling me, Malik Neighbors, is like going to be the man, and I think Mr. Harbaugh's got himself a tough job. He's got himself a lot of young guys who think they're big-time guys, and then you had this during the draft. Malik Neighbors, I'm finding some of this audio, so I thought, I've got audio. I'm going to play it tonight. Yeah. I've got audio for you tonight. That's a rare occurrence, but this is good. Malik Neighbors, number 1 wide receiver for the Giants, went on a live podcast with Micah Parsons. I mean, these guys are on a podcast during the draft a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about who the Giants are going to take at 5. This was live during the thing, and he thought they might take a wide receiver. He wasn't sure, but he's like, well, I'll let you listen to him. This is Malik Neighbors saying what he thinks if the Giants would have taken a wide receiver.
You draft a receiver at 5 and you put him, on side of me, yes. But you're basically going to pay him, more than me.
Right.
And I'm your number 1 receiver.
Right.
So that's basically saying, okay, that's cool. Right. And here's what I'm getting. So you're basically going to pay him more than me. Then after that, it's like you paid him, and I'm going on year 3. In 2 more years, he's going to be in year 3, and I'm probably going to be in contract. You're basically saying, okay, cool, we had our number 1, but we already drafted the number 1 receiver at 5.
So you heard that.
Yeah, of course.
You heard that. What that's his first mistake is, I'm the number 1 receiver. You take a guy. This is alive. This is during the draft. What if they would have taken Tyson? They could have taken Tyson. another one. He didn't want another wide receiver with him. He's going to get paid more. What do we got? We got some problems.
I don't particularly like that attitude of you're more concerned with him getting paid more than you, and you're more concerned with, well, maybe they have him and they don't give me my contract when my contract time has come. I completely agree. It is a very bad look if you want to be a leader of a team.
Okay.
A very bad look. I can't deny.
Okay.
What am I love defending my New York Football Giants, but I mean, that is ridiculous. Like, that is not. Now, if you want to question, and he did question who they ended up drafting.
He questioned after that, so then they picked it right after that. Arvell Reese, who I told you I'm questioning, and then he questioned it. He's like, he kind of like wanted Caleb Downs. So, I mean, why do you have a wide receiver going out here on a live podcast questioning things?
Well, I mean, let's be fair, Nate. This is par for the course with star wide receivers, is it not? I mean,
well, not this bad. I mean, you don't want your guys doing this. I don't have Cortland Sutton over here with Denver doing a live podcast questioning Sean Payton.
Right. Let's not compare Cortland Sutton to Malik Neighbors.
Well, that's true.
Cortland Sutton is a very good receiver, but he's not.
He's the Broncos' number one as of now.
Okay, Broncos' number one does not make him a number one receiver, right? He would not be a number one receiver on most other teams. Think about all of the problematic big-time wide receivers over the last 10, 15 years. I mean, we could name 24 off the top of our head right now. And just think about A.J. Brown right now, basically demanding to get a trade out of Philadelphia, right? Because he doesn't feel appreciated enough, or he doesn't feel like he gets the ball enough. This is a common theme for wide receivers. What is the responsibility of the head coach? He is going to have to figure out how to communicate with this player and get him on board and buy into a system. And if he can't get him to do that, he's going to have to move on. And the one thing about the National Football League is every single person other than some quarterbacks can be replaced. There isn't a player in the National Football League that can't be replaced by another free agent, or more likely by a young kid out of college in the draft. And so Neighbors is one of those guys who absolutely can be replaced.
But you've loved him. You're counting on him big time. I don't know if he's this guy, like you thought he was Odell Beckham or something back in the day. Well, I don't think he's shown us that much yet. I mean, this guy's barely played.
Well, he played 1 year, and then he got hurt early on last year, right? But he was very good in his first year. And I do think he has talent-wise like Odell did. But Odell was the same problem. Like, Odell had all kinds of issues in New York, all kinds of attitude problems.
I know.
And that is a common theme among you make it as if this is a New York Giants problem.
Well,
that's the problem I have with what you're saying.
This is a big problem.
It is a problem for wide receivers across the board. Are there many wide receivers who are these model citizens all over the place? Top wide receivers.
Yeah, I don't have Justin Jefferson. There's one for you. I don't have him out here saying he's worried about somebody getting paid more than him.
Okay, and I would say Jefferson is a good example. There are a handful of big-time wide receivers that are great and have good attitudes and are good teammates and good leaders. But more often than not, that is not the case.
So I'm going through your thing here, Malik Neighbors. And your draft pick last year, I mean, that not coming to practice and missing stuff. Mr. Harbaugh, I'm telling you, I think you're saying, we're fine, we're good. Jackson Dart's going to be, I mean, he's got a bunch of these young guys that think they're the guy. This is going to be a tough job here.
We paid $20 million for a coach a year for him to figure out these problems.
Tough job, though.
It is a tough job, but he has plenty of experience. This is not a guy this is his first rodeo. He's been a head coach for a long time. He's had very strong personalities. He's been successful more than he's not been successful. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt to figure out how to really get these guys on the same page, or if he can't, to move on from them and draft a culture of player that will be completely different than what Malik Neighbors is.
Well, you don't have time to move on. This is your young nucleus. This is who you've drafted, and how can you have a teammate like this?
But you're basically going to pay him, more than me.
Right. I mean, what?
I can't stand. It's bad. It is. It's a terrible look. That on draft night.
Have you heard that before today?
Well, I read it. I didn't hear the audio, in fairness, until you played it. I read the story in a New York paper that talked about exactly what he said there. And, yeah, he's not getting great press in New York because of it. I mean, it comes off as a guy who's not ready to take on a leadership role on a team.
You wouldn't want, I put in the show lineup tonight, is this good, meaning having your wide receiver going live podcast during a draft? Would you want that, him and Micah Parsons cutting it up?
Oh, I don't mind going live. I have no problem with.
I can't stand it.
No,
I can't have that.
Well, that's the modern athlete, though, now, Nate, right? Like, they, rather than go on someone else's show, right? Rather than come on the Nate Brown show, they're going to do their own podcast and get their own word out there and say it the way that they feel like. So I don't have a problem.
And then you say stupid stuff like that.
Well, that's the problem I have, right? Like, you have to be more you have to be more thoughtful, more polished than that. You can't put yourself down your own rabbit hole that you've created for yourself because somehow you've made the draft about your contract situation, which is still 2.5 years away.
By the way, Malik Neighbors said that, and then he didn't like the Arvell Reese pick. We mentioned that a little bit. He was hoping for Caleb Downs, and so the New York Football Giants are going to be it's going to be an experience. I'm telling you, this is going to be made for the Nate Brown show this next year.
I think they're going to be very competitive. I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs or anything, but I think that they are a 7 or 8 win team with Harbaugh, with a good defense, with Dart being, if Neighbors is healthy, with Dart having another year under his belt. Absolutely. I think they're a competitive team. And I think if there is a guy who can put this all together, it is a John Harbaugh. Not necessarily him, but that kind of type of coach is exactly what these kind of guys need.
Okay, John Harbaugh's got a tough road ahead. I thought that was quite something. I can't have my players. I mean, you think Sean Payton would let Cortland Sutton out here on a live podcast questioning their draft? I mean, that's unbelievable. You can't even have that.
I don't think Payton would tell any of his players that they can't go on live podcasts.
Oh, I do.
Oh, I completely disagree.
I absolutely believe that.
Completely disagree. No one's calling for Cortland Sutton, let's be fair, though.
There's a difference between the Broncos culture and the Giants culture right now. I believe that.
I think you're over-exaggerating this point. And I don't think that Sean Payton would say, no, you cannot go on it. First of all, I don't even think Cortland Sutton would ask him. I think he would just do it. It's off-season.
I don't think so. I think
during
the guys are running the show in New York. The players like Malik Neighbors, he doesn't give a rip about, you're not going to tell me what to do. Sean runs the show. Mr. Harbaugh better step in.
Yeah, I think you're completely off base on that part. I think Sean would absolutely allow his guys to go on podcasts.
Podcasts evaluating the Broncos draft. That would be something. By the way, next is, I think, the reason why Rob Kagron might be yelling at the clouds tonight. This was supposed to be the reason why he might yell at the clouds. We're going to do a Matt Kearney special segment on the Nate Brown Show. He has his own segment next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we handle everything from start to finish and beyond. We are your full-service custom replacement solution. Buy one Acclaim replacement window or ensemble entry door and get the second 40% off with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Don't wait. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. Glad you're here. Your sports, your show, The Nate Brown Show, live on Fox Sports Radio. If you miss any parts of the show, we are on all the platforms for the podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. I mean, we got to do this too. I mean, we can't just be on the radio, right? We appreciate it. This is a radio show, but we got to stream, we got to do our podcast, all that stuff. So check us out, The Nate Brown Show. Search for it if you miss parts of the show each day. Mike Golick Jr. was on tonight. Really good stuff from the college sports side. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcasts, and you've got us. Rob Kegron's in Thursday happy hour. So I asked Mike Golick Jr. about this, big college sports guy, he's a college football analyst for TNT, and I said, what do you think of big tech getting into college sports today? This is actual news today. It's not just something made up. It's the first of its kind that streamers are now signing a partnership with college sports, and this is Amazon with an exclusive deal with Duke. I'm a Duke guy. So you would think I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. Duke's going to put 3 premier games, non-conference neutral site, on Prime only. This is going to be Michigan. This is going to be Gonzaga. This is going to be UConn. These are 3 massive games. And then they're going to have 3 games every year, Rob. So Prime's going to get 3 Duke games every year. And then they said there's more to it. So I assume there's like documentary stuff. They're going to follow the team. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know what that means, but 3 games on Prime. So what this means is it's just a streamer. You and I have yelled. Matt Kearney has then really yelled at us. I mean, he is just fired up about this. He said, come on, guys, you got to start learning. This is what's going to happen. Amazon, Netflix, these guys, they're going to have sports. Do we just need to drop this? It's over. It's over.
Well, it is over, but that doesn't mean we're going to drop it, right? Like, let's be fair, right? It is over. I mean, this is going to continue to happen. And I don't blame Amazon. I don't blame any of the streamers. I blame Duke. I blame the leagues. I blame them just looking to take every single dollar that they possibly can and not care about the fan. What about the fan? Without the fan, you don't have a program. Nobody cares about you.
I like it.
And I am so tired. If I'm a fan, I have to watch any of these games, I have to have 7 different services to watch all the games. What you're basically telling the fan is, we don't care if you watch all the games. We're trying to get as many dollars as we possibly can, and if we get a couple of different eyeballs for that game and a couple of different eyeballs for the other game, and then for that game it's different crowd, we're okay with that. We don't care about our most loyal fans, because if we did, we would not make them have 7 different services and have to bounce all over the place with subscriptions and not be able to watch. And here's the biggest problem I have with it. College basketball needs, as usual, the NCAA, because they can't get themselves together, they're now letting an individual program sell their games to some streamer.
Yeah. Well, that's something.
How is that good for college basketball, right? If I want to watch that Duke game, I can't watch the other games that are going on at the same time, because I don't know if you know it, folks, NCAA games don't stand alone other than towards the end of the NCAA tournament, right? There are many other games on at the same time. How am I supposed to watch that when I have to have this stupid Amazon Prime clogging up my television.
Well, Matt Kearney's been making it a point. We've had some great debates here in the office today, and bringing you into this might elevate it.
I'm worse.
Just be careful. You're starting to get. I mean, he says I'm old, and you're.
Well, I am older
worse
than you.
By the way, I did say this though. So Amazon, they see it as, hey, this is Duke. We're gonna do this. And I think we're not on the front porch anymore. We're in the house. This is the opening. We got it, and now we're gonna make it bigger. I'm actually thinking, don't you think in the next 5 years when the rights are up, that Amazon, Netflix, somebody makes a bid for the tournament, the actual tournament, the 76-team tournament? Don't you think they go down that road to say, we'll give you all this money, and the NCAA says, wait, will you give us that much money?
Oh, I think you're 100% right. They will make bids, and I think they'll make aggressive bids. I think the NCAA would be the biggest fools in the world, and they are probably the biggest fools in the world if they were to ever to take that, because that would be the downfall of the tournament, no doubt about it. You can't have.
So they won't take it. You don't think?
I don't think so. I as much as I get that these little packages are going to expand here and there and more. I think the days of actual over-the-air broadcast television sports are long from over.
Wow.
Long from over. I just don't see that, because I don't see that they think they get the money, but how much will they lose in reach, right? And eventually over time that money goes away when you lose a lot of the residual money, when you don't have the reach anymore and you don't have the interest anymore.
Does every listener right now, this is my question, does every listener right now listening have Prime right now listening to this radio program?
No, but I would think of all of the things that they might have, that might be closer to the top because it's associated with something that everybody uses, right? Like people use Prime, like they get stuff delivered to their house every other day, right? Or once a week or once a month, however often you get something delivered to your house. I think that is probably the one streamer that most people have because of that connection with Amazon Prime. But I still think even that, listeners, I don't know, 75%?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's a high number, but there's 25% missing. So you're saying Big Tech's not going to take over sports, but they're going to be doing a lot of this.
They're going to keep encroaching. They're going to keep taking little bits and pieces, right? They're not going to take the whole pie, but they're going to go from 1/8 of the pie to 3/8 of the pie. They're going to get closer to half, and it's going to drive you and I completely bonkers because it's going to make because we're the suckers, right? We're going to buy it one way or the other because we want to watch every game. But there are plenty of good sports fans who just say enough is enough, then they're not going to do it, and they're going to be the ones who suffer because they can't watch those games.
I did have some listeners chime in, say that they do not get the streaming services. They're just not watching those games.
Yeah, and I get it, and I probably wouldn't, except for the fact that like we've had football playoff games, baseball playoff games, basketball playoff games on these services. Am I really not going to watch that out of protest? I won't. I certainly respect people who don't. Right? It's just for me, I'm too into the sport that I have to watch it. Or I don't have to. I'm choosing that it's more important for me to watch it than file my protest with the streamer.
Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, Live Golf looks like it's done for the most part. Why didn't this work? Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Want to do more of what you love and earn cash back doing it? With a Visa Cashback Credit Card from Black Hills Federal Credit Union, it's possible. Earn 1.5% cash back on everyday purchases like gas and groceries, and use it to fund your shoe obsession, vinyl collection, or airline upgrade. Plus, spend $2,000 in your first 90 days and get a $200 cashback bonus. Learn more at bhfcu.com/cashback. Offer subject to credit approval. Other restrictions apply.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterpark.com.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Today on Hey Culligan, buy to save. Here's a text from Devin in Denver. Hey Culligan, I'd love a water softener, but I don't want to pay for it. Devin, I can't help you there, but a Culligan high-efficiency softener can help you save oodles on energy and detergent, so the savings can be even greater than the cost. And I'm getting a mind-blown emoji followed by, yes please. Devin, the savings are already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Mainly clear tonight with a low of 33. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 62 tomorrow. Mainly clear skies tomorrow night, lows of a low around 37. Ample sunshine expected Saturday with daytime highs approaching 75. 66 chance of thunderstorms Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 53 degrees.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Hit it. In Deadwood, South Dakota, Cadillac Jacks practically invented gaming, delivering everything you want in a 24/7 gaming experience and nothing you don't. 3 bold lodging options, 5 crave-worthy dining spots, a sports book built for the big game, and a casino floor that never sleeps. Score events, hot casino promotions, our infinity pool, and a merch store that lets you rep the win. Always bet on red. Book now at CadillacJacksGaming.com on Main Street, Deadwood.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, good stuff tonight. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio, our affiliates KWSN Sioux Falls and Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're part of the program. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Rob Kegron on a Thursday happy hour. We got a listener text. I want to go to this so we can wrap up the show with it. He was interested in our Live Golf perspective here, and he just said Live Golf's kind of pretty much done. So if you missed this, Wall Street Journal reported yesterday that the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund said we're going to be done with supporting and financing the Live Golf Tour. Live Golf, I guess, having an emergency board meeting. It's kind of like, hey, guys, what are we going to do? I don't think if you don't have the money, I don't know what they're going to do, Rob. So I think Live Golf is going to be out the window. Lister Text says, what are your thoughts on this closing up shop? It could have been a good thing because didn't they make the PGA Tour make significant changes? So his read on it, did Live Golf, was it a good thing at all?
Well, it was good for the PGA Tour players who the texter is right. A lot of changes were made to the benefit of the players because of what Live Golf forced them to do. But Live Golf was a failure. I mean, and I watched probably more of it than I guarantee you than any person in this state. I watched more of it.
You did?
Oh, 100. I watched.
Oh my gosh!
Dozens of the Live Golf tournaments because I like some of the players. Right? I like Rahm. I like DeChambeau. I like watching them play. I liked Koepka when he was there. I liked Mickelson, Dustin Johnson. I can go on and on. And first of all, I'm a golf junkie. You know that. I love golf. But it's a complete failure when 4 years in, you're shutting down the league in the middle of the season because the Saudis don't want to give the money anymore. Of course it's a failure. It affected good change for the PGA Tour, but it's a failure.
I said it shows that money doesn't always solve everything. Money helps. Money doesn't solve everything. It's kind of an NCAA thing as well, where colleges are looking at taking capital just to get money in and then figure it out later. How many minutes of Live Golf did I watch?
0.
4.
4 minutes.
I saw it a little bit right when it got going.
Yeah.
That was it.
I loved it. And there were a lot of parts that I got really into, but when you don't get enough of the big-time players and you don't keep that momentum going, there was no way for them to sustain this.
Live Golf goes down. Now what's going to happen to those players? There was an olive branch. Are they coming back?
A few of the big ones will find their way back. They'll find a way to get them back in. John Rahm, DeChambeau. I think most of the rest are going to be kind of left out to pasture.
For Rob Kagron, it's Nate Brown. Thursday happy hour in the books. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.